Lee have won a game. Congratulations, Lee. You're still going to get relegated, but you've won a game, so well done. I didn't watch it. It wasn't on telly. I was working. It was on Talk Sport. I know that, which is good. But I assume they played well. They beat Salford.
They played better than Salford.
Salford apparently have got problems with discipline in so much as that they haven't got any. So there you go, Lee fans. There was your summation of Lee versus.
Well done.
Congratulations.
Hull apparently have got the bragging rights in Hull.
Game of the season.
By being Hull.
Yeah.
Everyone was talking about it. Yeah.
The ironic thing is that just before that game was played, Adam Pearson did a big interview about
Rugby League's dead.
Yeah.
Can I have some money, please?
he had a Rugby League's Gerald Ratner moment. The product is poor. The game's in a mess.
Yeah.
Please, can we have some money? Oh, I'm a merchant banker sat behind a desk. You're desperate for money. I've just devalued my offer.
We haven't got enough big Polynesian forwards. Can we have some more money?
And then his team went out and played in the best game of the season, which actually says product's great.
Yeah.
Just play it
more often.
the right number of times.
The right way, yeah.
And whatever restructure you're coming up with, keep some element of this rivalry thing because clearly it does work. And iconic moments in derby matches, Jordan Lane's charge down will now be added to that.
What was their attendance? Was it
the
derby?
We don't know.
Look, attendance not given.
Right.
You know, if teams in League One who have got nothing, well, I guess clubs in League One might have something to hide depending on how they decide on who we're going to kick out and who we're going to keep in, if that is the way we go. If they can publish their attendances, which are in the 3 figures, then I don't know why Hull FC can't publish their
Hull back in the 6, just behind Hull KR. It was everything that was great.
I only
about
wondered because there was a statement about staffing or something, so that's why I was just wondering how many were able to.
And this is an issue that you'll see this on Sunday.
I believe around 14,000, but they didn't.
This is stadium management companies. Have you seen what's happening with York this week? They're playing Bradford, the men, and then the women play Leeds. Never heard of them. Yeah, exactly. The Angry Ambers and Angry Ambers.
She doesn't look angry.
Is this a Rugby League podcast? I was here for checkers.
And the stadium management company there in York are, because I saw a tweet about this earlier, putting the capacity on Sunday to 2,000, which is ridiculous. Because obviously York, plenty of people want to go from York to see the back-to-back grand final winning Leeds Rhinos. No, only one grand final winning Leeds Rhinos. And iconic Bradford, but they can't go see him because stadium management company.
Are there many teams like that where they don't own the ground?
Oh, no.
I don't know. I don't.
Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah.
But I think that's a bit of politics with the football club at York, which it is at
Which
Hull
is
as
at
well.
Hull.
Yeah.
Okay.
But get it sorted, stadium management people. Nice stadium as well.
Yes,
we've been there.
But get there a bit earlier just to find which car park.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a lovely stadium. It's very.
Has it got changing rooms?
It's aesthetically pleasing. It has 2 sets of changing rooms. Sand-based pitch. Oh, it's gonna burn. Ooh.
It's got no Richie Mathers on us.
I've only been to Hull KR. I've not been to Hull City. I've been to 2 games and then the Challenge Cup draw thing. Great stadium. I do.
It's developing. No, it's a club that's going places.
Yeah.
Club that perhaps isn't going places at the moment is Wigan. Because that was a toweling in a derby at home.
I thought,
and as was pointed out by the great Phil Wilkinson, more yellow cards than points scored.
I thought it was a dreadful game. And I'm not saying that from I'm being grumpy and Sandy's accused me of it.
There you go. Have a donut, honestly.
I will do.
It's not on air.
Just so niggly.
It wasn't dreadful. It was overly dominant by St Helens and lack of anything other than reverting to aggressive type.
Well, if we say Salford are indisciplined, and obviously I've not seen how they performed against Lee, I don't know how we describe Wigan. I mean, I don't like calling out players because I never was one, so I don't like doing it.
So you can do it.
No. But all I'm going to say is, one, I can't understand why Willie Isa decided to do what he did to Jack Wellesby in the first place, and then was that his first yellow card or his second yellow card? He may have not even got a card for that one.
He didn't get
a card for that one, did he?
Why did Adrian Lamb keep him on the field? What a liability he was on Friday night.
But then it's not a player point of view; that's a coach's point of view, isn't it? So you've got quite a consistently good player, yet your team are not performing. and you expect, I think there's some element of expecting the experience to step up, and I'm sure that the talk in the sheds at half time would have been, I need you guys to step up, you know, and
set a lead.
Lead by example. Yeah. But then there's a fine line, isn't there, between...
because the rest of the team will then became...
That's the thing, isn't it? Courtney's... Taking it back because the women's game is all I know. Taking it back to... Courtney is the coolest, calmest person under pressure. So we can be 20 points down, and under the stick she'll be like, right, girls, this is it. However, when Lois was captain, she is much more fiery. We need to make sure you do this. You better get your head in, you better get your shoulders in. We need to be hard on the floor, we need to be more aggressive on the floor. And that's a different perspective. Now, if you've got a player that gets frustrated very easily, like I've played with girls that have got frustrated very easily, and they'll just whack you. Because they're annoyed at themselves, but they don't know they're annoyed at themselves. They're annoyed at their performance or lack of performance.
And they're annoyed at their teammates because
everyone's not performing. And it's that level of frustration and aggression that comes out because things aren't going your way and you've spat your dummy out. And that's essentially what he did. You know, and then he continually does it. And there's Adrian Lamb thinking, is he thinking, I quite like the little bit of aggression. It's gone a bit too far, but I like a little bit of the... There's a fine line, isn't there, between being aggressive and being an idiot. Yeah.
But I think it's a bigger issue than that. It's the first time Wigan haven't scored a try at home in Super League.
Yeah. Wow. But then there it goes back, isn't it? When you're frustrated, you make mistakes.
They've had all season that they just are not creating enough. Yeah. And if you're not creating enough, what do you fall back on? Aggression. And if that aggression isn't controlled aggression, then you're just penalising your own team. Yeah. And all you are doing is putting yourself under more and more pressure, particularly with the game being so fast. But I do think that is detracting from how good St Helens were.
Yeah.
They were so controlled. They started so well. And again, it was a team that were coming off a defeat the week before, and it's like, well, what we need to do is we are the best team in the opening 20 minutes. Statistically, everything points to the fact that we have got intensity. We're difficult to break down. Teams don't score against us in that opening 20 minutes. We're going to go out and do everything we can.
But they've come back from they've come from a hurt, haven't they? They've come from a big hurt.
But that was a really good performance from them.
But I think you always after a surprising loss or a big hurt like that. Like, how many years has it been since they've lost at home or whatever?
Yeah.
They are going to be. It's the embarrass, it's the hurt. It's just we've seen them step up, though, haven't we?
Wigan don't seem to have that at the moment. There's some ingredient missing.
I think there's a lot of individuals at Wigan. Yeah. Like, I don't know if I'm wrong, but there's a lot of the personalities we've won and been talking about.
But they're not gelling
But they're
together.
not. No. They're being individuals, and they're. I don't think it's a push for the limelight or the spotlight or anything. But there's too many people fighting against each other for
when you played Wigan and Ben Flower and Tony Clubb were at Prop, you knew you were going to get a belting.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think the young kids that they've got at the moment aren't at that level of maturity.
It's the arrogance.
So it's
if
really
you can call
hard.
it that pre-game, the arrogance pre-game about let's get into it. Like, it's a fine line, isn't it, between having that I'm up for the game and I'm going to give you versus being after the game you just look a bit of a mug now, don't you?
Mm. Well, I think as well the Lewis Dodd try when he ripped the ball out of Ollie Partington. Yeah. Again, that's a crucial moment in the game, but it's a young kid who's been brilliantly nurtured and developed. He's been sparingly put into the first team, played at auxiliary hooker, learnt how to defend and look after himself. He's now given the big role and he's allowed his confidence to express itself against a young kid who's still trying to grow and get a reputation. And almost that moment encapsulated the difference between those two teams.
But what's Ollie been spoken to? How's he been spoken to? How's he been treated?
He's not at a level yet at the moment where he can go out and dominate teams, even though I think he's been told that he can.
Yeah, but that's the thing, isn't it? It's that level. So I know we've got a couple of new girls. Like, our expectation on Fran Goldthorpe to take the ball and score tries is a lot. The expectation, the pressure on her to do that. She doesn't score a try and she thinks she's had a rubbish game. That's not fair. Yeah. But as a squad, we're like, Fran, go, and the same with Caitlin. Caitlin is now mature enough in the sense that she's not going to score 60-metre tries every time, and yet she still doesn't value her performance. But she doesn't beat herself up as much as that. Now, if these girls are taken... So if Fran takes to not scoring or not getting her own way, like St Helens chopped her down in that semi-final and she got frustrated, but she doesn't have the boot in her yet to take that frustration the wrong way. Mm. So you've got a young lad who's like doing all right, and somebody's saying, "You better be doing this. You better be doing this. You've got to be doing this."
You've got to live up to that.
Yeah. And like you've got people who, at the end of the day, who you still rate and you still look up to, telling you have to do things, and you're not performing. You're going to make more mistakes. I don't care who you are.
I think it's partly a game plan thing that you've got to play to what you've got. Kai Pearce-Paul is arguably the best offloader in the game, but the way Wigan tried to play on Friday night wasn't about offload, it was about being aggressive.
Yeah.
And you're suddenly going, well, hang on a minute, maybe you're just not using the best of what you've currently got.
But if you're giving all these instructions to the players, like someone's going, do this, do that, do that, which one are you going to remember? You can't. It's about that communication and just take.
And there isn't enough leadership. Sean O'Loughlin, we're now seeing how much they miss him. Tommy Luluai not out there at the moment. Sam Powell, all of the guys who would have said, right.
That's classic. They're trying to refine themselves, but it goes from you're playing St Helens at home.
Yeah.
I want you to get on the front foot. I want you to be dirty in this, rather than just going, guys. And as cliche as it might sound, let's play our game our way. And that's how do you strip it back down? Game? Well, that's exactly it.
That's the issue.
There's too many cooks, in one sense. There's too many cooks, and not enough
broth.
Well,
I mean, I would be saying to Jackson Hastings, it's your team.
Yeah.
You determine what we're doing. You clearly are. I know you're not going to be here next year, so it's a temporary thing. Yeah. But at the moment, he's looking after Harry Smith too much.
Yeah.
For me, and then it's where's Hardacre's best position and. You've moved Jackson Hastings out of the halves and into full back, and then you're moving him back into the half.
They have had so much, haven't they?
Yeah, I just think they've lost their identity, and that showed on Friday night. And whilst, again, we have said a million times, we do not wish ill on any coach ever, particularly in a time of COVID, and not even knowing who's going to be training on the day-to-day, I can see Adrian's Lamb reign coming to an end.
At least he'll get on Sky the week after, though, like Chris Chester. That's positive. Speaking of Chris Chester, Willie Poaching, he's out now. Willie out, hashtag. Because 700 games in a row now, Wakefield can't beat Castleford. It's rubbish. They're just a little town in Wakefield. We can't beat them. Bad times. So much so people were sending abuse to Ollie Holmes. Why are you sending abuse to Ollie Holmes? It's just a second rower with tape round his head. You haven't done anything wrong. You're not evil.
Although you finished the game very strongly.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I wasn't there, so I don't know.
That's something to build on.
Brought it back.
Although, clearly, every team has got 2 games to play in 15 minutes next week, so...
There's games in midweek this week, isn't there? Yeah. Well, Wednesday, Wigan Leeds.
Yeah.
I'm telling you everything.
Phil's not.
On telly and everything.
And how can you sell a product and the people who play it if you're overextending them to the point where the product gets compromised?
The thing is, there's too many games and the players cannot play to their optimum. So it's not only the welfare side that concerns me. Like I said, I'm not a player. I've never been a sports player, so I'm just obviously observing from an outsider. These are human beings. Absolutely. They're just like you and me, but they play the game. So if we were working very long hours, we would never be to our optimum, and therefore our product.
But I think the other thing as well is we've seen one particularly great game and some great rivalries over this round.
Yeah.
But we don't have time to sell that because all of those teams are playing again Wednesday or Thursday, and then they're all playing again on Monday. So we will have forgotten this Bateman-Bentley battle because they'll both play depending on the disciplinary.
They'll be playing next Monday.
Yeah. But we don't have a chance to tell a story because not only are they playing again, but they're playing again and again, and we got that completely wrong this year.